Joe Mazumdar, Exploration Insights, once again at PDAC 2016, booth hopping. And now we're going to look at a company that's a development play, a gold development play in Canada, northern Canada. A lot of strategic ownership by private equity and by a large company, Nunavut Mining. And it's called TMAC Resources, TMR on the TSX. And to talk to us is Catharine Farrow.
Hey, nice to meet you.
How do you do?
Yeah.
So what is the project? What's it called and where is it?
Yeah, so it's TMAC Resources. We have the Hope Bay project in northwestern Nunavut territory. We're right on Tidewater. Previous owners of the property were both Miramar and Newmont. So we picked that up in 2013.
And since then, what have you done since the acquisition of it from Newmont?
Yeah, well, in 2013 we reopened the camp that had been put to rest, and we started exploration again on the belt. In 2014, we did a lot of drilling to upgrade the mineral resources, ultimately with the ultimate goal being to produce reserves. We restarted the power plant. We started getting the camp really rolling in 2014. And then 2015 was huge for us. We started construction because one of the main things that we were missing was processing plant.
Yeah.
We had underground development. We restarted that mining. In fact, we have full mining crews at work there by the end of 2015.
So obviously you're permitted to go.
Yes, we are, to start mining, yes.
And you've got tailings, permits, and everything.
Yes. We are amending our production permits, but we can start mining. The other thing we did that was really key in 2015 was we IPO'd, and we took TMAC public. We previously had been a private company, took the company public in July 2015, and secured a $120 million US debt facility with Sprott Morgan Stanley.
So how much has been done previously that helped you in the upfront capital estimate that you would have done, like if you hadn't done, if Newmont and Miramar hadn't done anything?
Yeah,
how much did you save, would you say?
Yeah, well, you know, Miramar really got the ball rolling because they did the initial permitting, for example, at Doris Mine. And of course, there are three future mine sites that we currently have on the books, Doris being the first, and then Madrid, and then Boston further to the south. And then what Newmont did was really they constructed so much infrastructure, 27 million liters of fuel storage capacity, a huge camp, accommodations camp, power plant with the capacity to produce almost 11 megawatts of power. You know, really advanced the infrastructure for us and built 10 kilometers worth of roads from north to south in the belt. So we were able to leverage that significant contribution of infrastructure, and really with the previous workers in the entire belt, we're looking at something in the order of $1 billion, which has been put into the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just been a fantastic sort of kickoff point for us with all that high quality construction and engineering having been done.
So how much do you have left to spend to get... I mean, and what's your throughput that you're looking or contemplating right now?
Yeah, so the big thing for us is a processing plant, and right now, what we have contemplated to get the project over the line is about $320 million, and what we have available to us is about $365 million. Okay. So we've got a bit of cushion there. That'll help us fully develop Doris to get it to initially 1,000 tons per day in 2017, ramp it up during 2018 to 2,000 tons a day, and at the end of 2018 is be able to retire our debt, which comes due on December 31st, 2018. So really it's Doris that is our main focus right now.
But so what are you building the process plant capacity to be?
2,000 tons per day.
2,000 tons per day.
So, and we've got a little bit more capacity in the concentrate treatment plant. We can actually treat over 300,000 ounces a year, so we got a little bit of extra room.
Is that what your production profile would be?
No, actually we're going to be a little bit lower than that at 2,000 tons a day, but that provides us with that excess capacity. So we're always looking to the future. What happens when we bring Madrid on? And if we have a little additional success in building grade there, what about the same thing at Boston? So we always build with a little bit of extra capacity because we see this belt as being multi-generational.
And the first one is Madrid again?
First one's Doris.
Doris.
Second one's Madrid.
Is Doris higher grade than Madrid?
It is right now, yep, absolutely. It's very high grade veins. So kind of things that you would find in high grade veins in Timmins or in the Val d'Or camps.
So when you say high grade, what do you mean?
We mean that locally these veins can be they can be over 100 grams, but the average grade, for example, for our stockpile, which by the end of this year we'll have about 111,000 tons of ore sitting on the ground, it'll be about 15 grams.
15 grams.
Yeah.
And is that what your feasibility study head grade? What's the average head grade of the feasibility study?
We had a pre-feasibility study, and what we had over the life of the camp, it was lower. But those first couple of years at Doris are modeled. The first year was almost, it was slightly more than 15 grams. So we're right on what we expected to be. Although we've tweaked the mine plan a little bit from the pre-feasibility study, because now we're underground and we're using those learnings to help de-risk the project. Because bringing a new mine on, you're always looking to ensure that you have continuity of grade and that your production schedule doesn't have any ups and downs in it. You smooth
that
ramp up.
reconciliation right now with the mining good to the resource?
As far as what we're doing, sampling underground, our face sampling underground shows us that certainly there are no surprises. Of course, we don't have a processing plant yet,
Right,
and
you have to
ultimately
get
that's your reconciliation,
Okay.
right? But from what we're seeing underground, we have good continuous grade, high grade in the veins that we're opening up right now.
Right, and
so
the ground
that
conditions are great.
Ground conditions are excellent. We're in good ground. B, we're shallow. And C, we're in permafrost, which even makes it better.
Right, and you're all decline access. That's the way this thing's going to be mined.
That's right.
And so what do you expect, like from your PFS or going forward in the next 5 years? What's your sort of average production profile, and what do you think your cost profile would be around that period of time?
Well, certainly right now, the PFS contemplated all-in sustaining costs of around $865 an ounce. So we're looking at something in that range. But right now is the time. Over the course of the next year, we'll really start to understand what our costs are, because now we're taking it from the model, and now we're putting people to that. And we've been mining in full crews since late October, and so now we're really starting to get a feel. Once we've been at it for 6 to 10 months, then we'll be able to really apply those new learnings in 2017, because then we'll have some steady state underground production.
So what would be your next catalyst? Is just building the process plant and getting that commissioned?
Yes,
when do
absolutely.
you believe that will be done?
We will be bringing it to site in the sea lift in either the very latest August, more likely very early September, and we'll start erecting it inside the already constructed building. And so once we start that erection, we start commissioning segments of it, and that commissioning will continue through the end
up
of
the stockpile for
yes.
Okay.
And then we'll continue that commissioning through the end of 2016, and we will be in production in 2017, early 2017.
And right now your ownership, you've got 25% Newmont.
Yes.
RCF has a big stake.
35%, yes.
So how many, let's say, strategic investors do you have that own TMAC right now?
Well, there are several who came in the IPO, but obviously we've got our two major shareholders we've just already talked about, and also significantly 1.5% of our company is owned by local Inuit, the Kitikmeot Inuit Association, and that was part of our agreement to achieve long-term 20-year land tenure.
So they haven't taken a royalty, they got a royalty on the project
yes,
as
they
well.
did. Well,
and
they're
they
the
also
landowners.
took an equity holder.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And really so, and that's part of the mandate for local Inuit is to get more Inuit participation on companies working on Inuit-owned land. And the land claims are settled and have been there for 20 plus years. So I just came from the Nunavut Tungavik luncheon, and it's a tremendous story of a mining company working with local Inuit, and we're excited to at that relationship and keep building.
Okay, Catherine. Thank you very much.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate it, and all the best of luck.
Thank you.
So that's TMAC Resources with the Hope Bay project. Newmont still have a big stake in it, so obviously they believe that this thing can work. right now with the strategic ownership and the insider ownership, there's not probably a lot of free float to play with. We'll watch this because there's not a lot of development properties that are coming into production soon, but right now we're not keen on buying it right now.